final chapter. Thank God. I'm sick of watching these movies. Is what I would say if part 4 was a greater number than part 10, or 11, or 12. Jesus Christ, how many of these are there? And besides, the box cover spoils the ending. Jason is defeated by stabbing his mask in the eye hole, which proceeds to bleed to death on the black stage. Now you may be wondering why— what the fuck? Anyway, you may be wondering why I have a VHS of this. It's because I'm not going to give the movie the dignity of watching it in HD. So here's me reviewing it with an HD source file. What do I need to say about Friday the 13th, the final chapter, that wasn't already perfectly said on 1984 Chicago television?
Our next movie is Friday the 13th, the final chapter, an immoral and reprehensible piece of trash.
Damn right it is. Even without looking it up, I can already tell you that this movie was probably not nominated for any Academy Awards. Do continue.
Needless to say, Paramount Studios, the distributor of this film, didn't authorize any clips of the film for use on television. They like to make the money, but maybe they're a little bit ashamed of the movie. They like to hide it from critics like ourselves. But
you can tell they're ashamed because they put their logo right at the beginning of the movie, and it was produced by the president of Paramount's son. Oh, sorry, I'm interrupting.
Friday the 13th, the final chapter, is 90 minutes of teenagers being strangled, stabbed, impaled, chopped up, and mutilated. That's all this movie is.
Well, to be fair, the movie is also dancing.
I know what you're waiting for.
And it's also a movie with a message.
Just think of the message this film offers to its teenage audience. The world is a totally evil place, this movie says. It'll kill you. It doesn't matter what your dreams and hopes and ambitions are. It doesn't matter if you have a new boyfriend or a new girlfriend or you've got plans for the future. You can forget those plans because you're going to wind up dead.
Yes, which is why when the movie opened at #1 at the box office, every teenager who went to go see it immediately dropped out of high school because the movie showed them that life is pointless. But if you want a more restrained opinion...
I got as upset as you did. I don't know whether the teenagers, the message will be of this film that the world is hopeless out there. I don't think anyone's going to take this as a worldview picture. I really don't.
No, they are going to take this as a worldview picture. Cheap roller coaster ride entertainment must always contain a message. And yes, I was the kid in school who demanded homework during recess, but I don't understand what that has to do with anything. Alright, look, let's just sum up this whole experience.
That the film is literally about stabbing. In other words, if you like this picture, what you have liked, I believe, is the idea that someone will get a stick put through their body, because that's the essence of this movie. That watching girls, and it's mostly girls again, getting stuck is entertainment.
I've been saying this for years. As long as a movie has people getting stabbed, horror fans will immediately like it. It won't be for characters or tone, it'll be because people are getting stuck. Just look at the horror community's love for such movies as Smiley, Elm Street 2010, Savage Weekend, and Crazy Fat Ethel 2. Any horror fan will tell you that those movies are awesome because of the stabbings. Or at least I'm assuming so.
And the sickest thing is, this isn't the final chapter, that's just an advertising gimmick. The ending clearly sets up a sequel.
Okay, that one I can agree with you on. And this has been the Cinema Snob response to a 30-year-old clip of Siskel and Ebert well after either one of them can respond. Someone should make an internet character based off of that review. Okay, I guess I should actually watch the film in question. Did I make up my mind about this movie based solely on Siskel and Ebert's review? Yes. But thank God the movie sums up the previous entries for me.
I don't want to scare anyone, but I'm going to give it to you straight about Jason.
Seen it! Why do I need these flashbacks? It's not that complicated of a series. Teens get naked and Jason kills them.
Some folks claim they've even seen him. Right in this area.
Don't know why they're showing this guy since it was Jason's mom that killed him. I know more about this series than the recap!
Legend has it that Jason saw his mother beheaded that night.
Only because he went into a theater showing the end of Friday the 13th. After a while, they stop telling the story and it just becomes a greatest hits album. And by greatest hits, I mean a lot of scenes from part 3.
Jason's out there.
And sometimes he's in 3D, but not this time. That fad has passed, but we'll still throw the title at you anyway. Amazing! Especially considering how the movie doesn't have any explosions in it. Look at these names. I don't know who any of these people are. I'm sure they went on to nothing. And twins playing twins. Isn't that typecasting? I suppose they pulled out all the stops for this one. Look, they got a helicopter in it. That body there looks a little frumpy. Must be the Shelley cameo. Here, put this in the evidence bag. We don't want to get any fingerprints on it. Oh shit, where's our gloves? Why does everyone seem so nonchalant about this massacre?
Yeah, they're all dead. You can pull it up over there.
All dead. Some emergency. Put her over there.
That's right. If there are no survivors, then that means that an obvious mass murder spree is a non-emergency. Also, there was a survivor. And seeing how parts 2 through 4 of this series all take place within the same week, you've had about 20 dead bodies just this weekend alone. Even the Ghostbusters turned up to investigate this scene. Though there is something strange about seeing ambulances roll away from the scene of a massacre and having the mayhem site return to a place of odd quiet. Even I'll admit that that's one of the eeriest shots of this series. Oh no, last time I saw someone put food on top of a body at a morgue, this happened. Don't worry, Friday the 13th, the final chapter, is a lot more respectful to Jason Voorhees than Wired was to John Belushi. And why is everyone in this town horny?
Meet me in the cold room. I'm closing up for the night. What do you say?
I say, when did I accidentally put in Halloween 2? Also, Spoonie does not look good with that haircut. Too bad the only place to watch the news is in a room with a corpse and a morgue attendant who wants to fuck you.
Man responsible for the murders in Wessex County this past week is at this moment in the Wessex County Medical Center morgue.
Yay!
Thank you, officer. Yay! You know the odds are pretty good that you know someone who was murdered. Face it, dude, no way she is gonna bang you.
I don't believe you, Axel.
Getting their first good night's sleep in a very long time. Local law enforcement. What? This movie teaches another worldview that morgue sex is A, a thing, and B, hot.
Jesus Christmas! Holy Jesus goddamn! Holy Jesus jumping Christmas shit!
Great. Now I'm watching Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Sorry, dude, you're gonna have to have sex with one of the corpses now.
Real cute girl.
Was.
Well, she still is.
Ugh, now I am worried he's gonna fuck a corpse. Thank God aerobics porn is on to distract him.
Hi, girls. Thanks for waiting.
You wanna know how fucked up the 80s were? That's Nickelodeon that he's watching. Come here, motherfucker, this is for your World's End review! And as for her, clearly she's screaming because Jason's nails have magically grown an inch longer since the last film. Meanwhile, what the fuck are people doing still living here?
Talk to Dad. How is he? Oh, he said he was lonely. He asked me to come out and see him.
Probably because he's worried about her. Every other person in this town is dead! Just think about what this is doing to your strange alien child. Wait a minute, it's Corey Feldman. Put the mask back on! I've decided to make fun of Corey Feldman because he was in some classic movies and also some bad ones. I'm starting to wonder if anyone here even knows about the killings.
Someone left the front door open.
We're in the country.
Well, what happens if the psycho wanders in?
I don't know, just ask some of your friends what happens when a psycho wanders into your house. Oh wait, you can't, 'cause they're dead. People are still going on vacation? I mean, sure, some probably thought that Jason was dead, but 2 hospital employees were murdered and Jason's body is missing. Apparently it was really fucking easy for him to sneak out of the hospital without anyone noticing. Not that the original version of the Bros would notice either.
What? It says you're a dead fuck. A dead fuck?
Hello, McFly? You can't satisfy a woman, butthead. Think, McFly. Think with your micro penis. They end up stopping, only so it can zoom in on Jason's mom's grave. Except she was killed on Friday, June 13th in 1980, not 1979. There was no Friday, June 13th in 1979. Now this movie doesn't make any sense. At least one girl is smart enough to get out of this town, and she's taking all of the bananas with her. Well, at least Jason was nice enough to then drop her body off in Canada like she asked. There is meaning to this story. It's about people coping with tragedy by simply ignoring it.
No,
This family is annoying. I'd rather spend time with mopey-ass Crispin Glover.
No, see, I've come to realize that a guy can have a good time without having to have girls all about.
He's just sad that the filmmakers were too scared to use him in the flashbacks for fear that he would sue them. Look, he's even bumming out Joan Allen. These friends are weird.
I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how you don't.
I mean, you do it with everybody.
That was the nicest way that I could call you a slut while still remaining friends. Plus, doesn't this mean that you're cheating on Wyatt, you bitch? Oh, hey, a story about Jason's body missing. What else is in the news? Now here's the most realistic thing about the movie, Corey Feldman peeping in on a woman changing clothes. And like every kid in the 80s, it all gets ruined when mom comes in and shuts off your porn. I'm sensing another message here as well, and it's who can wear the shortest shorts in a short shorts competition. The winner is clearly young Rob Lowe here, and the losers, Teddy and Jimbo.
If you want to make a fool out of yourself, always do it with someone new.
So what you're saying is I should go on a talk show and try to kick the host in the face with a wooden shoe. Got it. This is just like Grown Ups 2, only without Kevin James' sweet ass.
Oh, no. No, we have no suits.
But they're not the only ones with a no nudity clause.
Well, then I'm gonna go under and stay under until you do.
See you later.
And then she died. This son of a bitch, he's seen way more skin at 10 years old than I did, and I grew up with Cinemax.
Some pack of patooties, huh?
Tommy.
Hey, come on, that was the best way that Corey Feldman ever said nice tits in his life. The kid can fix a fucking car. Let him see some boobs if he wants. Or, never mind, Hiker McHandsome is gonna fix the car with the old switchblade trick. Now he gets to see your sister's boobs. The kid has seen so much action that one way or another he's gonna get someone into his bedroom. Nice of him to show off all the prototypes used for what Jason could have looked like under the mask.
Amazing.
I've never been to a Spencer Gifts before. And what do you think of this? I'm trying to figure out how to use it as a condom. Oh, and remember when Teddy told Jimbo to embarrass himself in front of someone new? Well. Don't think you got it made, no. Cause you can't make it anymore. I know what you're waiting for. I should turn away and walk right out that door because Even before he was famous, Crispin Glover was still fantastic at being Crispin Glover. He just made this shit up on the spot, because of course he did.
Hey, how come you turned that off?
Because the internet hasn't been invented yet. Just give it a few years and people will be watching this dancing clip on repeat and spamming their friends' inboxes with it. I suppose two can play this aggressive flirting game.
Teddy, I've got to get another drink.
Oh, I'm not drunk enough for a Lawrence Monason face suck. Give me a few tequila minutes. And now he's back to being mopey again.
Besides, you've got the hot one of the two. Check. He thinks that's funny.
He may think that's funny, but everyone knows that this shit is funny. Teddy may be sticking his hand out of his pants, but Jimbo looks like a puppeteer is trying to get his hand out of his body. Why are people saying that this movie is nothing more than people getting stabbed? There's more jealousy and drama here than in 5 minutes of Knots Landing.
I mean, I had that girl. She was mine.
Well, all of that changed when she saw you drinking a Coors. And since Jason can't exactly kill Samantha when she's indoors, he's gotta wait until she goes skinny dipping in the middle of the night to make her possibly cheating boyfriend jealous, while also giving Jason a stalk boner. Could be worse. Could be Corey Feldman watching her naked. Whoop, here we go. A girl getting stuck. And thus, every horror fan immediately gave this movie 4 stars. Unfortunately, Paul's "it's my turn to die" sense begins tingling.
I can't go through with this.
My girlfriend is now literally a dead fuck, and I need to take advantage of that. And say what you will about Crispin Glover's dancing, apparently it worked.
You want to dance?
No thanks, I'm playing with my French fry spider Cheeto toy thing. What the hell is that? Well, time to put that dead fuck theory to the test, and time for Teddy to get rejected for the 8th time.
That's a teddy bear. Want to give teddy bear a kiss?
I'm starting to feel bad for Lawrence Monahan right now. He got laid more times when he played the lead role in a movie called The Last American Virgin. Oh, she's asleep, thank God. She won't notice me in these ridiculous shorts. Say what you will, but it took Jason a lot of effort to remain under the water this whole time, in the off chance that some dude would go out there. Ouch. And then every guy immediately gave this movie 4 stars. What? It still has people getting stabbed in it. That sound carried for miles. Poor Rob here is either scared or he's about to go fix a stalled monster truck. But this is where we get introduced to prankster Jason. He didn't stick around to kill Rob, he just broke his gun and drank all of his fluids. Because in this movie, Jason's a dick. Well, sort of. He is gonna let Crispin Glover have sex first.
This is, your room.
No, actually, it's Paul's room.
So, you know, I guess we should leave or something? That'd be the polite thing to do since Paul just lost his balls. You dead fuck. The film also loses points for again showing a better film within their subpar film. Not that I'm against anyone sitting around their house and watching Eraserhead. Supposedly actor Lawrence Monahan really did get a little high during this movie. You know, for method acting and all. Well, fuck me, I can't tell. But what I personally can't stand is hypocrisy. Look at this. She's giving her sister shit for wanting to stay with Jimbo, even though she's the one who advised her to do so? And what's with the name calling?
You slut!
Hey, your boobs were also seen by Corey Feldman, little missy. Can't say I'm sad to see you go, though the cutting in the movie is a little awkward.
I'm going upstairs.
Something just came through the wall and stabbed me in the back, and it's making me surprisingly horny. But one thing I'm noticing about the Siskel and Ebert review is that they neglect to mention that most of these characters are, dare I say it, likable. Look at Teddy's reaction to overhearing Sarah say that she wants to take a shower with Doug.
Stop.
It's just a group of buddies hanging out, smoking some weed, and then fucking. And also getting murdered, but I do believe that you could get so high that you would believe that this movie is trying to tell kids that life is meaningless. Just look at this next scene. See? Nothing but women getting stuck. Except when it cuts away from it. These two jackasses probably wouldn't even notice their mom is dead until a week later.
Can we slow down a little? The party's gonna go on all night. I'm gonna lose my lollipop.
I'd ask what's with the scene of Corey Feldman being a brat in the car, but given what Jason actor Ted White said about Feldman's on-set brattiness, they probably just let the camera roll in this scene and inserted footage of him being himself. All it took was for the lights to go out for them to realize that something is fucked up in their town. Look, Tommy, remember when Dad was asking us to go out of town and come visit him? Maybe we should take him up on that. I don't know why we're cutting to a clip of Jesse Spano preparing to go to prom with Slater, but whatever. Let's go back to these two responsible wonderkins.
I'm going out on the path.
Me too.
No, you stay here in case she comes back.
I'll go.
Stay here and fix the lights.
You're around 10 years old, Tommy. You're old enough to be alone in the house with a killer on the loose. Meanwhile, I'm gonna hang out in a stranger's tent until he makes me shit my pants with a machete. Until we get context for said machete. Turns out Rob is in Crystal Lake to avenge the death of his sister Sandra from Part 2. Given that this movie only takes place a few days after that, you'd think Rob would want to be at her funeral, but given how she died, I think there will probably be 2 caskets. One for her and one for her boyfriend who stuck to her.
But the man that killed your sister is dead.
Thank you for acknowledging that you know that there's a killer in your town who has killed half of the population. And if you don't stop him, he's gonna kill Crispin Glover too.
Was I a dead fuck?
No, there's a reason I'm asleep right now, and we haven't even had sex yet, you dead fuck. And I did not need to know that he wears panties.
Why don't you run this through your computer, teddy bear?
That's not how computers work, 80s. You put that in the computer and it will halt and catch fire. Plus, this movie doesn't even know how a corkscrew works. Whatever. I already know that Jason is off the hook because Biff Tannen killed him. And Jason was too busy hanging out on a ledge in case someone happened to look out a window. Oh my god, that probably wouldn't kill her. There's way too much drama here for one movie. Doug is cheating on Sarah with her body double, but she comes back without even noticing. But the biggest disaster happens when Jason cuts the reel of film. And as the president of the Silent Film Preservation Society, I do declare that this scene is the worst thing to happen to black and white since Ted Turner. Not even wholesome love stories are spared here.
Sarah, I think I'm in heaven.
I think I'm in love.
Don't say that. You want to get yourself killed? In the last movie, he killed a pregnant woman. Jason cares not for your high school crush. See what I mean? It turns out the powers of Matthew Starr were no match for a head crushing against a shower wall. And as a dude, I am very offended by the fact that the men have had the most graphic death scenes in the movie. Is everyone in this movie a dead fuck? Though let's pause to admire just how sturdy this towel is. It stays on the entire time, even with an axe going through it. The heavier the no nudity clause, the sturdier the towel. Also, Jason could just fucking turn up anywhere. At least in the other movies, he had somewhat of a sneaky path. In this one, he knows exactly what door or window you will be standing in front of at any given minute. He's just warming up to his teleportation powers in Part 8. Also, I've apparently already seen Part 8. Then we get to the third act of the film, which is basically, let's just scare the shit out of Corey Feldman. I know that I had a key, but we thought it would be much funnier to smash the window. Now maybe they won't just keep the kid at home by himself.
Tommy, you stay here, okay? And lock the door.
You mean the door that you just punched through? Oh, I'm sure he'll be fine. Ugh, this movie has absolutely no excuse for not being as good as a Robert Altman film, especially since one of its cast members wrote a Robert Altman film. And then for no reason, this happens. Dead? Jason wasn't even anywhere close. I think the dog literally just bailed on the movie and thought jumping out the window would be a quicker death than simply going out the front door and living with being in Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Look at this idiot. Why does he need to look at newspaper clippings, most of which are probably only a day old and are from articles in his own hometown that he should have already seen? At this point, Jason appears to have been busy re-murdering already dead bodies. But with a hard-ass hiker hell-bent on revenge, Jason has finally met his match. Well, good one. Now your parents have to bury 2 of their children. Don't worry, the avenging his sister plotline would later be used in the Friday the 13th remake, another film that is beloved by horror fans because people get killed in it. Unfortunately, poor Trish is trapped, since it'd be way too hard to step over this dead body, and no one wants to crawl between dead Crispin Glover's legs. That's icky. Well, it's a good thing for them that they know Jason's Achilles heel. Nails through a door. Fools, we're now about to see another time Jason throws a body through a window. That's kind of his thing. That was a hell of a stunt, but not as funny as knowing that the terror on Corey Feldman's face here is actually real. That's for Dream a Little Dream. Jason is a little off his game this time around. Normally, he could have made that shot if he didn't get an axe in his head the other night. Though I like the appearance of confused Jason. He doesn't know which one to chase, so he goes for the woman, when history has shown that when there's only one woman left, they will defeat him. Trish then takes a cue from the dog and jumps out the window. How come she survived this, but not the hot twin? That's hardly fair. And Jason really should have seen this coming, especially since there was already a machete mark on the wall from a previous take. And either Corey Feldman is trying to look like a young Jason, or he just escaped from being held captive in Balloon Land. Now we have stupid Jason. The man knows how to disconnect the phone lines, but he also confuses Amy Steele for his mother, and now what? Does he think he's talking to himself? Or is he just confused wondering who in the hell those people on the wall are? I think a couple of them might have been in Teddy's Stag films. But soon it is revealed that yes, it was Jason this entire time. Hey, after part 5, you never know. So given that this was supposedly the final chapter, how is Jason killed off? Gross, but that's what kills him? A machete to the head? Actually, no, because he's still moving, prompting Feldman to just hit him repeatedly with a machete. Shut the fuck up. You want this fucker dead or don't you? Seeing how Ted White also played a baddie at the beginning of Romancing the Stone, I think I know what's going through Tommy's head right now.
That was the end of Grogan, the man who killed my father, raped and murdered my sister, burned my ranch, shot my dog, and stole my Bible.
But still, this is what kills him? In the span of a week, he's had an axe in his head, his shoulders separated, his hand mangled, hell, he's even been hung, and yet he's still capable of chucking bodies through windows. I think he can handle another skull wound and a hazing routine with a machete. It's almost like this wasn't meant to be the final chapter after all. It even has an open ending. The hell does that mean? Is he gonna grow up to become Jason now? Don't worry, that'll be explained at the end of part 5, which I'm sure will then be explained in part 6. Okay, this movie may be an immoral piece of trash, unlike those much better and very moral slasher films, but I'm sure the cast and crew had a lot of fun making it. With Judy Aronson being reduced to tears when she wasn't allowed to warm up from the chilly water, or Ted White having his name removed from the film, calling it a piece of shit after advocating for safer stunts for the actors, or Corey Feldman pretending to be hitting director Joe Zito with a machete during the death scene. To be fair, that could be because he dropped his lollipop again. Star Kimberly Beck even dismissed the film by saying, "It's not even a B movie, it's a C movie." Oh, honey, I've seen 4 talking vagina movies, 4 E.T. pornos, and 2 Sasquatch porns. This isn't a C movie. Tom Savini even returned to do the special effects because he wanted to be there for the series' end. Oops. But the movie was a monster hit, making $32 million at the box office against a $2 million budget. Oh, but all it is killing. And also a revenge plotline, likable characters who you don't want to see die, comic reliefs that are funny, a quirky self-esteem arc, and a child lead with hobbies you'd see straight out of a Joe Dante movie. It's not like the message of the movie is to get very drunk and high with your friends and sit around and watch 90 minutes of some mindless fun exploitation. After all, there's even scenes in the movie of friends getting drunk and high and laughing at some mindless fun exploitation. Huh. I'm sure that's not meta at all. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've just watched Friday the 13th, the final chapter, which means that the world has gotten so dark and depressing to me that I need to drink myself to sleep while dreaming about watching much better movies with an actual message and not terrible movies while looking for a fake message. Though if it were filmed like a Dario Argento movie, I probably would have liked it.
God, I'm horny.